Okay, so this is a continuation of the previous lab where we were able to download an image and edit it so that we could remove the background. We did a few things in that lab. We acquired an audio item, three actually, and we edited the dog bark with Audacity. So right now I have imported this dog bark 1, which was the new version of the Audacity file. So if you want to import a new asset, you just right click and then you select import. But in order to make this button play a sound, I'm going to play the scene, and the street sounds are kind of loud, so you'll see that when I click though on the dog, that it will actually show me the it showed me the fact that it was a button because it was blinking. So in order to make that do something, we have to right click in the hierarchy and create an audio source. So whenever you create something new, you should try to rename it to something more descriptive. So I'm going to call this dog bark audio source, and what you have to do is for that object, before you even create the button, you got to bring this dog bark into the audio clip here so that it's contained within that audio. And then when you select the button itself, which is the dog, I should actually change the name of that too. So I'm going to call it button dog. And so when we select things, we have these tools in the top, by the way. So this hand tool allows us to move the whole thing back and forth. This move tool gives us, it's called the gizmo, the ability to move, but we could also move it if we use that rect tool, which is the more common one. There's the rotate tool, so we could rotate the thing any way we like. And remember that if you change anything, you could always hit Control Z. You could also scale things using this, so if you want to shrink or grow in X or Y. But when you have this other tool, it allows you to do pretty much all of those things. Well, it's the more common one, so that you could position things. But be aware that those are all available, and you should use them as needed to edit the images that are on your screen. So now we have this dog bark audio source, and this over here is called the inspector, and it says play on awake. So that means that if we leave it there, it's going to play automatically. So I'm going to uncheck that, and then I'm going to go back to the button dog. And in order to make the dog button do something, we have to look at the inspector for the button and go down to where it says on click at the very bottom. We have to create an event. So we hit the plus button, and we get these areas that we can insert values into, and a lot of it is just drag and drop. So if we want to play that dog bark, we just drag the dog bark audio source to where it says none object, and then in the no function we could drill down to where it says audio source, and then we want to do play one shot. So what that will have the effect of doing, and we actually want to drag the audio clip in there too. So, but when this plays, I'm going to play it again, and I'm just going to demo it, and I won't talk over it. Okay, so you saw that now when I click on the dog, that I'm able to get an audio clip to play per the way that I configured that button. So for your overall project, you're going to have a dog barking, perhaps, maybe some kind of vehicle. It could be a taxi or a police car, or you know, I'm going to put like a fire engine into the scene and have it just play that audio, and then a couple of other things that you'll be incorporating into this scene. So the primary new thing that we're learning here is how to incorporate audio in a variety of different ways. And of course, before we put an audio asset into our project, we have to prepare it. You know, so if that means creating it, you know, we can create it with our own microphone on our smartphones or on our PCs. We could acquire it through a Freesound website, you know, that we looked at, and you know, you could acquire it from, you know, other sources. But remember that in all of our projects, we have a credits scene that will attribute where we got things from. Even though this is an educational environment, we have, you know, fair use guidelines to follow, and you know, we're not using it for commercial purposes, so we want to make sure that that's known, and that we still give attribution to wherever we got it, whether it's Google Docs or Freesound or some other source. So we have to, you know, constantly pay attention to the copyright laws, and especially when you're outside of an educational environment. You know, when you go into a corporation, you know, you cannot use things unless you get either pay the royalties or get permission, especially if you're going to make money using it. So that's just an aside note for the whole copyright issues that might occur, or you know, are present in anything that you do. So again, this is just a kind of an isolated lab that just shows you how to create a button and how to make it play a sound. Thank you for watching.